Okay, so it is 9:30. So let's get ready to begin. As usual, check the surroundings. Make sure you're not exercising on a slippery surface. Always monitor your own intensity. So we only want to be a little bit out of breath. You can go more if you want to, but we don't necessarily have to. Okay, so let's do our warm up. Okay, so we're still starting off pretty slow. So just move all your joints, get your heart pumping. Okay, and also move our joints at the same time, starting from the spine. Okay, so let's just stand a little bit taller, bring our chest up to the ceiling. Okay, and kind of just relaxing back and forth. Okay, so just relax your shoulders, relax your back a little bit. Okay, and once again, standing 6 feet tall. Okay, and relax. Okay, and just keep going. Okay, slowly exaggerate a little bit more. Okay, so you can try to relax, slouch a slight bit. Okay, and take a deeper breath in, pulling your shoulders back, maybe looking up slightly. Okay, and just gently back and forth, not moving into pain. Okay, just moving through pain-free range of motions. Okay, so try to tuck your chin slightly more this time, sucking in the stomach slightly, breathing in. Okay, really try to bring your heart up to the ceiling. Okay, and come somewhere in the middle. Okay, still standing relatively tall, shoulders wide. Okay, and just look left and right a few times. Okay, bring your shoulders along for the ride. Just keep going. Okay, and exaggerate motions, moving the spine a little bit more. Try to bring your arms behind our pelvis. If you feel comfortable, so you can reach over to the opposite side a little bit more. Okay, and bring both hands behind the pelvis. Okay, you can take a breath in while trying to pull your shoulders back, lightly pressing the back of your hand into your pelvis. Okay, breathing in as you do so. Okay, hold maybe half a second. Okay, and relax. Okay, let's do about 5 times. Okay, so number 2. Okay, maybe a slight stretch across the chest. So still deep breath in. Number 3. Relax to breathe out. Number 4. Okay, and last time. Number 5. Okay, and let's move the shoulders in a circle. Still bringing the spine along for the ride. So pull your spine backwards and upwards as you pull your shoulders back and up. Opposite as you bring your shoulders down and forward. Okay, let's try a few times opposite way. And you can just relax your neck. Okay, let's tilt your head sideways a little bit. Okay, we're just going to bring one arm up. Maybe touch your ear. Coming back. Maybe reaching across the chest a little bit. Okay, slowly see if you can reach a little bit further down your neck. Your elbows slightly high up. So still breathing in. As I reach up, breathing out as I reach my arm into my chest a little bit. And number 3. 4. And number 5. Okay, and come back, pause in the middle for a second, make sure you feel okay. When you're fine, try the other side, okay, pulling our ear up to the ceiling, okay, and just moving the opposite side. Starting off with a smaller motion first. So we're coming kind of from ear to pelvis. Okay, maybe back of the head. Reach a little bit more across. Try to get an elbow up a little higher if there's no pain. Okay, if there's any pain, then slow down or stop. Don't go as far. Okay, and one last time. Okay, and coming back. Okay, shaking out a little bit. Okay, let's try to move the back a little bit more. Okay, so when you reach your arms up, okay, arms might not have to move as far. Okay, try to bend from the spine a little bit more. Still breathing in as you reach up. If your shoulders feel fine, you can reach a little higher. Still try to take a deep breath in as you reach up. Okay, try to open up your palms. You're pressing upwards as well. So engage the muscles at the back of the hand a little bit. Okay, maybe one more time per side. Okay, shaking out again. Okay, let's go backwards and a little more forward with both arms. Okay, so you're going to rotate your thumb inwards as you reach back, breathing out. I'll just keep breathing in general. Deep breath in, I'm in. Okay, and then breathing upwards, inwards as you reach up. Okay, so if you can take deep enough breath, you can kind of breathe out as you reach back. Okay, breathe in as you bring both arms up. Okay, number 3. Number 4. Okay, so you can just go at your own pace. Okay, and number 5. Okay, so try to engage the muscles in the back as well, not just shoulders. Okay, shaking out again. Okay, a little more rotation. Okay, it's just going to be keeping our elbows beside our ribs, our trunk, while you press your hands out. Okay, and if you feel to stop marching at any point, if you feel like you need a break. Okay, and then just the opposite direction. Should let more people in. Okay, reach into your armpits. Thumb is still facing backwards. Okay, as you reach your limit, you're going to turn your palm up and come back. Okay, so the entire arm rotates, kind of inwards as you reach inwards. And you're just rotating back to reset the position. Okay, and rotate the wrist. Okay, open, closing the hand. Open, closing the fingers. Side to side. Okay, and shaking everything out. Okay, so let's just still do our tapping or massaging. Just stimulating our nerves. Okay, so just across the chest, so that you can the neck. Okay, ribs. Behind the lower back. Okay, and just put our legs. If you sit down if you need to, or if you don't feel comfortable bending over, just only go as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe spend a little more time on the knees. Okay, move your ankles a few more times. Okay, so kind of press your toes in the ground. Do the opposite, lifting the toes up, feeling a little bit of weight shifting side to side. Okay, and just do couple more hip circles. You relax on the upper body. Let's try to draw bigger circles with our hips. Okay, less of our head, okay, more of the hips. Okay, and we just bend and extend the knees a few more times. Okay, and we'll head into our 10-minute sets. So if you're new, there's going to be a beep in the background. Every time it beeps is about 30 seconds. So we usually do 30 seconds a little bit easier, and then 30 seconds a little bit more, maybe slightly more complicated. Okay, and we do this about for 10 minutes. Just always check this intensity. So slow down as you need to, go faster if you want. Okay, just remember we want to be just slightly out your breath. Okay, so you should still be able to talk, okay, but you might not be able to sing a whole song. Okay, so let's start off easier first. Okay, maybe a slightly bigger motion than the before with our shoulders and hips. Okay, but still relatively slow. Okay, gradually maybe speeding up slightly if you feel warmed up already. But it is still at your own pace. So you don't need to follow exactly what I'm doing. Just do what is comfortable to you. Okay, start off still warm up at the hips. We're going to reach out to the side with one foot alternating between the two sides. Okay, so still just tapping sideways. So we still just reach across the body a little bit. But see, you can reach a little bit to the side, feeling the muscles on the side of the hips. To our active rest. So adjust the pace. You can go faster if you feel like you're not working hard enough. Go slower during this point if you feel like you are getting out of breath. And you don't have to do the whole 10 minutes either if you feel to stop at any point during the class. Okay, so next one, let's do the same thing by reaching backwards, okay, and both arms going to reach forward. Okay, so still try to feel if you can squeeze your butt muscles to reach one foot backwards. Usually we tend to, when we sit a lot, we tend to lose the ability to use our butt muscle. Okay, it is the largest, one of the largest muscles in the body, so we want to keep it. A couple more seconds. Okay, and back to the active rest. And once again, you can change your pace. So for myself, I'm going to start to go slightly faster than before. Okay, next round, we're going to just raise the hips in front. Okay, so we're going to bring one knee up, reaching either hand upwards. Okay, slightly slower than before. Make sure you feel comfortable standing on one leg. If you don't, maybe just move the arms, okay, or bring a chair for support if you need to. Give a bigger motions upwards with our knees and hands. Okay, and back to the marching. Okay, next one, a little bit more motion in the arms. We can go side to side with the arms, okay, while kind of taking a step, kind of stepping side to side at the same time. Okay, so we're just going to be stepping side to side, okay, while moving the arms back and forth. See if you can point your fingers slightly backwards. Feel maybe a little bit of a stretch until you've got the front line, the front side of your chest and arms. Okay, sometimes blowing through a straw can make it easy to breathe. Okay, so next round, let's just try to go pick up the pace a little bit if you feel comfortable, a little bit smaller motion. Okay, still relax through the shoulders. Okay, you can go in a jog if you want, or you can kind of just pop your heels, which will be easier on the knees. Okay, 5 more seconds. Okay, and so back down. Let's check where we are at in terms of intensity. So let's take a breath in, count out loud in a normal voice. Let's see what number we can count up to. Okay, so take a breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that was one breath for myself. It might be different for you. So if you cannot count to the 5, definitely slow down. If you can still count to 15, maybe speed up a little bit. Okay, so let's do the same thing as before, but this time bigger motion. Okay, so still side to side. Arms will be reaching a little bit higher. Legs also a little bit higher off the ground. Change the pace as you see fit, so you can go smaller motion and faster if you want. Okay, or bigger motion and a little bit smaller. Okay, so always make sure you can balance first, or safety first. And slow down if you feel like that was a little harder. Okay, next set, similar idea. Reaching upwards a little more with both arms, kicking backwards off the ground a little bit with one leg. Okay, and yes, we try to lift the legs slightly off the floor, arms slightly higher than before. Catching our breath. Maybe. Ranjin, maybe see you next time. Okay, so next one, let's do a little bit more coordination. We're going to step out, okay, but we're going to go one to the left, one to the right, step back, and step back. Okay, so be wide, wide, in, or wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Okay, so you can stepping out, in, out, in, in. Okay, and you can increase the pace if you feel comfortable, okay, or you can just take your time to match your coordination. Okay, see if you can change which leg you step out with as well. So if you always step out the right first, see if you can change it to step out with the left. Okay, and back to the marching. Okay, the last one was a little easier. Maybe speed up a little bit to keep our heart rate up. Up to you. Okay, so last round for this set, this 10-minute set. Let's do forward and back. Okay, so be still left leg forward, left leg back, right leg back. Okay, so be stepping forward and back. Okay, definitely make sure you're not on a slippery surface. Once again, see if you can change which leg you step out with. Okay, see if you can change, if you can step out with your right, okay, or step out first with the left. Okay, see if you can switch in between. Okay, and that was 10 minutes. Okay, so let's slow down a little bit. Okay, keep moving in some ways. Okay, even if you're just hopping heels, keep moving in some ways. Okay, don't just stop immediately. Okay, and we're still going to do a little bit of balance steps just for cooling down. Okay, so we'll just do our figure eight walk. So that's the one where you walk in almost two circles. Okay, so you're going to be walking kind of diagonal, kind of turning. Okay, just a very simple kind of stepping. Okay, usually we don't fall when we just walking forward and back or side to side. Usually there's some turning involved. Okay, if you feel comfortable, see if you can look at one spot in the distance. Okay, so you're going to keep tracking something in the distance as you walk. Okay, so it gets a little bit harder as you kind of with the fingers behind you a little bit. Okay, so usually people might fall as they turn around. They're looking in one direction while they're walking. Imagine someone calling you, like a friend calling behind you while you're walking away. So just a bit of cool down, a little bit of practice of the balance. Okay, so balance is not just standing on one leg, it's just not falling while doing other stuff. Okay, so let's check the time. So right now it's about 9:50, almost 9:53. Okay, so let's take 2 minute break. Come back around 9:55. Drink a little water if you're sweated. Okay, but let's come back in 2 minutes or so. I'm going to grab some water as well. Okay, and while you're resting, feel free to do some stretches that maybe you are that you should do more of. So my hips have been pretty tight lately, so while I'm resting, sometimes you can use this time to do something that we need to spend more time on. Okay, so for myself, it's my hips. For you, it might be different. Okay, that's roughly 2 minutes. Okay, let's begin our second round, our second set rather. And gradually ramping up. Okay, if you're comfortable, maybe speed up a little bit, just until you get to your target pace. Just maybe slightly out of breath. Okay, so let's still do the wide, stepping wider and stepping more narrow. This sound a little bit more complicated. We combine forward and back movements. Okay, so we're going to step out and forward, step out and forward, step back and in, step back and in. Okay, so this one may be a little bit more challenging in terms of the coordination, but just do your best. When you feel comfortable, you can go faster as well. Okay, and still, as you usually do, see if you can change which leg you're starting off with. Okay, so a little bit, you want to be able to control left and right. Okay, and back to the marching, maybe speeding up a little bit. Okay, next round we're going to do the exact same thing, but instead of starting out forward or stepping wide as we step forward, try to see if you can step kind of out and back, out and back. Okay, and then back to where we were. Okay, so wide, wide, in. Okay, just starting off backwards. Okay, so maybe always check the surroundings. Okay, but still wide, wide, in. Okay, and just kind of repeat. I'm just going to be doing whatever it needs to do to maintain your balance. Okay, switch which leg you start off with. Okay, and maybe speeding up a little bit. Those previous two were a little bit easier for you. Okay, so next one, we're going to combine the two. So we're going to do kind of one set where we step forward, okay, one set where we step back, okay, and kind of see if you can do starting off the opposite side. So if you do this corner, then go to the other one first. If you're on left corner, go to the right afterwards. Okay, so be forward first, and then back, forward. Okay, so take this as slowly as you need to for balance, for safety. Take smaller steps. Okay, and see if you can switch. So switch which side you are going towards first. So I'm a little confused myself now as well. Okay, and see if you can just do one last set. Okay, and back to the marching. Okay, so anytime for balance as well, anytime you can add a little bit of thinking where you either remember something or coordinate something, that is good as well. We're just practicing our ability to kind of multitask. Okay, so let's keep it simple, get it simpler. We go a little faster. Okay, just arms in front of the forehead, legs out to the front. Okay, and either go bigger motion slower or smaller motion and a little bit quicker. So just half a jumping jack. Okay, and let's check. That's roughly 5 minutes, so let's check our pace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so definitely a little easier for me. So probably for myself, I should go a little faster. Might be different for you. Okay, so let's go still a little wider, but kind of squatting down a little bit, stick your bum out. Okay, and back. So we're still going kind of wide and narrow. Okay, but this time sit in a very tall bar stool as you go wider. Okay, only go as low as you feel comfortable. So it could be just as much as this, or as little as that. Okay, or as much as this if you feel comfortable. Okay, a little bit harder on the front of the thighs. Okay, let's go to the back. Okay, so if you feel comfortable, you're gonna have to put your hands behind your back, or behind your butt rather. Okay, and you're trying to kick your heel up until you get close to your hands. If you still need your hands for support, just bring them back out. But if you feel comfortable, use your hands just almost a target, shifting your weight side to side. Try to kick your heel slightly high up. Once again, without pain. Okay, so just a target. We don't have to necessarily touch it. We just want to feel the back of the thighs engaging. Okay, and to the active rest. Okay, next one, we're still going to side to side, okay, but this time we'll reach across, rotating through the hips. So as you kick just one leg out. Actually, let's change it up a little. Let's take a little bit of a step towards the side we're reaching. Okay, so step, step. Okay, so probably not too fast. Okay, but you step towards the side that you are reaching. So step and reach, step and reach. Kind of one more step in between, I guess, to get back to the middle. But we're doing more stepping side to side today. Two more rounds in this set. Okay, we're gonna move our arms a little more. We're gonna try to reach back as we stick our bum out. Okay, so you're just going, imagine you're going skiing or something, and you're just pushing your hands backwards. Okay, you're throwing something behind you, okay, using your hips as well. Okay, so just slight bend in the knees, stick your bum out as you drive your arms slightly backwards. You can choose to go a little faster for the arms if you want to. Okay, once again, just slight bend in the knees, keep your feet flat on the ground, and stick your bum out. So we are loading our hips and not just our knees. Okay, and so back down slightly maybe. Okay, last round for this set. Instead of throwing things down, when they throw things up. Okay, so when you reach up on the tippy toes, okay, so you squat down slightly, imagine jumping up, throwing something up, okay, and onto your toes. Okay, feet maybe shoulder width apart. Okay, so once again, just slight bend in knees, okay, but you're throwing things up. The arms. Okay, still stick your bum out. Your knees shouldn't be past your toes. Okay, but your butt should be behind your heels as you reach down and back. 4 more seconds. Okay, and slowing back down. Okay, good job everyone. So that was our second 10-minute. Okay, keep moving until you feel like your heart rate is coming back down, your breathing is slower. You can try to slow down your breathing a little bit, so which means just taking a deeper breath in and a slightly longer breath out. You can also try this breathing through a straw, so breathing outwards, like you're blowing a candle. That naturally slows down our breathing. And still breathing in through your nose when you feel like you're okay. Okay, so for our second kind of balance cool down, let's just do the square walking. Okay, so you're just going to be stepping forward, stepping to the side, stepping backwards, back to the original spot. Okay, and so you just go in a square. Okay, as always, start off backwards first. Okay, so we're just practicing the ability to kind of move in different directions. You can treat this simply as a cool down. So don't go too fast. Okay, so hopefully everyone's heart rate, breathing is back down a little bit more. If it's not, just keep moving until it is. Okay, so let's check the time. Right now it's about 10:07. Okay, last 2-minute break. Let's come back around 10:09. If you have any questions at any point, feel free to unmute yourself. These classes are also recorded, but it's only recording my voice and myself. Okay, you can find those on YouTube if you do miss a class. If you need a link, just I can send out afterwards. But you can just search for Carefirst Chronic Disease Management Center on YouTube, and you should find the videos of these classes. Another 20 seconds or so. Oops. So I'm going to just spend more time stretching. Okay, so that should be roughly time. Okay, so let's get ready for the third and final round, final set. If you're new and you're tired, don't feel pressured in doing everything. Feel free to slow down or just even take a break. The long-term habit of exercising is more important than what we do in a day. And gradually speeding up. Okay, so first one, we're going to be just doing a squatting stance, but we come marching while in a kind of a high squat stance. Okay, so sitting on that very tall bar stool, feet a little wider apart. Okay, so just a little bit slightly lower. Okay, once again, my hips, my butt is behind my heels, my knee is behind my toes. Okay, I can just shifting my waist slightly side to side. Okay, go just as high as you need to. So it could be just as little as this. Okay, or if you want to make it harder, you can go as low as whatever. And back to just a march. Okay, just make sure your feet are flat. Okay, and your bum is behind your heels. Your upper body is leaning slightly forward. Okay, so we're going to do almost the exact same thing, but this time we're going to go a little bit side to side as we're in that kind of high squatting stance. Okay, so just a little lower. Okay, and you're just going side to side a little bit. Okay, and of course, the lower you are, the harder it becomes. Okay, so see how your knee feels. Okay, once again, it could be as high as this. Okay, just a very slight bend. Okay, or as low as whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, just a little bit harder on the thigh muscles. Okay, so we're going to work our thigh muscles just one more right? So same idea, still that high squatting stance. Okay, but instead of sideways, we're going to walk forward and backwards. It's still the same old reminder, lower the hips. Okay, so we just stick your bum out. Okay, so be flat, stick your bum out. Okay, if there's pain at any point, come up higher. Okay, 5 more seconds. Okay. And let's give our legs a rest. Okay, so next one, we just move our arms a little more, so arms a little straighter. When you go, just kind of almost drumming, and then you're going to switch. Okay, so you're going to go 2 to the front, 2 to the sides. Okay, so a little bit slight amount of coordination, a little bit of trunk muscle activation to kind of keep our balance, keep our body steady. Okay, so you can try to go faster, of course. Okay, so be left, right, left, right. So there's a little bit of coordination involved. Okay. Okay, so next one, very similar idea, but instead of jumping just kind of downwards, we're going to go sideways, sideways, upwards, upwards, sideways, sideways, upwards, upwards. Okay, so still kind of 4 beats. Okay, so the left, right, left, right. So side, side, up, up, side, side, up, side, side, up, up. Okay, feel free to go faster if you want to. Maybe sideways, sideways, upwards, upwards, sideways, sideways, upwards, upwards. So if you go faster, it becomes maybe something like this. Okay, so once again, don't feel bad if you a little bit coordinate, but that's the point. So we do want to be able to kind of move while coordinating something, slight amount of thinking. So it's good that if it is a little challenging for you, okay, just take it as slow as you need to. Okay, just do our best. Okay, so next one, a little simpler. Okay, let's do circles and then circles. Okay, if you feel comfortable at these steps, okay, but you're just circling to the same side that you are moving to. Okay, so take it at your own pace. Okay, or just draw circles with your hands in any way while you're moving side to side. Add a little bit more flair than what I have if you want to. Okay, 3 more rounds to go. Okay, so this time we're gonna keep it simple. We're just gonna go kind of up and down the hands. Okay, we're gonna add the squatting back in as well. Okay, so feet is not gonna move much. You're just gonna be on a squatting stance. Okay, so feet sort of apart, and you're just gonna drum low and then drum high. Okay, so a little wider, you're gonna drum low. Okay, drum high. Okay, drumming low, a little lower. A little higher. Okay, if you feel dizzy at any point, don't decrease the amount of movement you're doing. Okay, but hands are fast, and you're just alternating between high and low. Okay, couple more seconds, 5 more. Okay, and slowing back down a little bit. Okay, relax the hands, relax the arms. Okay, all the same thing, sideways this time. Okay, so side to side, side, maybe forehead level. Okay, doesn't have to be too high up. Just going between a lower stance to a higher stance. Okay, if you can alternate between which arm is high up, that'll be good. Okay, almost there. Last round. Okay, last round, very similar. We're gonna go side to side, but this time rotate the hips a little bit. Or you can shift your weight towards one leg a little bit more, shift your weight towards the other side a little more, just drumming left and right. Okay, and also high up as well. So you can think of drawing a square if you want. Okay, so we just this corner to this corner, high up this side, high up the other side. Okay, so you can just go kind of square, maybe not as wide as what I'm doing. Okay, feel free to switch direction, do a cross. Okay, once again, how low you are is completely up to you. Okay, good job, everyone. So that was our last 10-minute set. Okay, relax arms out a little more. So once again, keep moving until you feel your heart rate and your breathing slowing back down. Okay, so let's do our last kind of cool down, kind of stepping exercise. Okay, so kind of simple. Okay, it's just we can do walking. Okay, but this time, let's try to do slowed down walking. Okay, it's gonna probably feel like your feet has to work a little harder to maintain your balanced stance. Okay, if you feel comfortable, you can go backwards, which is somehow actually harder for myself. Okay, you can go slow as you want to. Think of this as almost as a game if you want. Okay, so you can think of this as we're actually kind of practicing standing on one leg, but instead of being still, we're practicing standing on one leg while in motion, pretty much. Okay, so we're spending more time standing on one foot, okay, but not in a static position, which is not how we go about in our daily life. Okay, we are in motion most of the time. Okay, so let's complete today's class with a little bit of stretching. So use a chair or a wall. Stretch pretty much the same areas as we usually do. Okay, just most of the calf and the hips, with a little bit of shoulders. So first one, you're gonna just the ankle, the calves. Just push your toes up against anything solid. Okay, and for myself, because my chair slide, I'm gonna use a block. Okay, so I'm still just trying to get my toes higher than my heels. Okay, and then shifting my hips over my legs. And you should feel a stretch on your calves. Sometimes it'll be a little bit at the bottom of the foot as well. Probably hold something for support. And just try to take deep breaths in and out. Okay, and switch sides after you've done about maybe 3 or 5 deep breaths. Or just whenever you had enough. Okay, and front to the hips. So just 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Okay, lift the front of your belt upwards. Okay, so your belt shouldn't be pointing down, it should be kind of try to bring the buckle flat or upwards. Okay, and you're just going to press the hips forward at the same time, feeling a stretch at the front of the straight leg. Okay, and just keep going. Okay, and switch to the other side. When you're ready, okay, so once again, your buckle with front of your pants, bring up a little bit, and then press the hips forward while keeping your buckle up. Okay, so last one, just the top of the shoulders, side of the neck. You can take a seat if you want. Okay, so we just that's just for today. Let's just put one hand behind the back, lean to the opposite side. So this is my left arm behind my back. I'm looking leaning towards the right. Okay, I'm just going to use my free hand to lightly pull. I'm still trying to take deep breaths in and out. You can change the angle a little bit so you can kind of look down a little bit more. Okay, and come back in the middle. Pause a little bit. When you're ready, just you can switch over to the other side. Okay, and at the same time, you can kind of pay attention to how you're sitting. So some of us might be a little more rounded. Sometimes we were somewhat maybe over exaggerated. Okay, so kind of you can play around here, see what your posture is doing, or at least pay more attention. Okay, so if you're a little bit too rounded, maybe bring your belly button a little more forward. Okay, so there's a little bit of a curve in your lower back. Okay, but we don't have to be overly arched either. Okay, and last one, just turn your head sideways a little bit. Feel the stretch more along the back of the neck. Okay, coming back. Stretch things out. Okay, and that's all the time we have for today. So thank you for coming, everyone.